Okay, dear devotees, we'll be starting chapter 10 today, the opulence of the Absolute, in which Krishna will be talking about various opulences. Okay, and before we start the class, please let us take the blessings of the beautiful deities of ISKCON Mangaluru, Sri Radha Govinda Ji. Sri Radha Govinda Ji ki Jai.
Jai.
Okay, so first we'll see the synopsis of chapter 10. So in the last chapter of in the ninth chapter, last shloka, we saw that Krishna at the end of ninth chapter, he advises to fix the mind on him. He says that shloka, right? That famous shloka, Man mana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru ma mevashyasi. That shloka is there, right? So he says, Man mana mad bhava. So you fix your mind, mind on me. So now Arjuna asks Krishna, how? So you see, how do I fix my mind on you? So then Krishna says, that's why Krishna he describes in the second point, you see, hence describes his opulences on which. So in the 10th chapter, we'll see how Krishna he will describe his various opulences so that we can meditate on and we can meditate and put our mind on those opulences, and then when we see them we can remember Krishna. So hence describes his opulences on which a devotee can fix his mind, and how to remember him when we see opulent, powerful and beautiful things in creation. So in the conclusion of chapter 9 is that one should become a pure devotee of the Lord by focusing mind on the Lord. So that is the conclusion, right? Man mana bhava. So we should put our mind on Krishna. And chapter 10, what does chapter 10 focus on? We said, right, about hearing the now Krishna says you hear. Again he says hear properly. I'll be telling you all my opulences. By remembering, by here, whenever you see those opulences, it will increase your devotion. So focuses on description of Krishna's opulences by hearing will increase devotion. Okay. So this chapter is totally dedicated to the opulences of Krishna, which Krishna will tell Arjuna, so that people like all of us, I mean, like through Arjuna, like people like all of us can meditate on Krishna when we see those opulences. So from 1 to 7 in chapter 10, first to 7th shloka, we'll see Krishna's position as the origin of everything. And 8 to 11 is the most famous Chatur shloka, which covers the gist of the Bhagavad Gita, the 4 shlokas. And 10.12, like a mention is 10.12 to 10.42, Arjuna's acceptance and his request to show opulences. Okay, so 10.1. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Bhuya Eva Mahabaho Shrunu Me Paramam Vachaha Yatte Aham Priyamanaya Bhakshyami Hitakamyaya. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord said, My dear friend, mighty armed Arjuna, listen again to my supreme word, which I shall impart to you for your benefit and which will give you great joy. So now, Krishna, okay, first let's go here. So now Krishna is saying in the shloka, is telling Arjuna, Lord Krishna asks us to listen carefully. Right? He says, Shrunu, Tat Shrunu, listen again to my supreme word. So as he will reveal more wonderful knowledge about his opulences. So actually in chapter 7 it starts, Krishna starts explaining about himself, right? So in chapter 7, our Lord explained his different energies and how they are acting. So what does Krishna focus on chapter 7? His energies, two main energies, what are they? Anybody? What are the two main energies that Krishna focuses on in chapter 7? Okay, so two main energies are his inferior material energy and
superior.
yeah, superior spiritual energy, that are the living entities. Okay, so what are the inferior material energies? He was talking about earth,
Uh,
water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Okay, so this is about material nature, prakriti. And the living entities are jivas. Though they are small, they are conscious but superior to matter. So these two he was explaining his main in chapter 7 he was talking about his energies, and in chapter 9 Krishna established his different energies to establish devotion in firm conviction. So in chapter 9 Krishna basically he says that devotional, he summarizes that devotional service transcends all other processes. See, there are many processes like Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Karma Yoga, many processes are there. But he says that out of all these, devotional service is the topmost. It transcends, it is above all other processes. Okay, so he confirms that in chapter 9. And now in chapter 10, he gives more confidential knowledge of his specific opulences and his work. That we'll see in chapter 10. And the main qualification is to hear. Krishna is saying you have to have is hearing. You have to have eagerness to hear. That is the main qualification. Okay, so discourses in the society of the devotees can take place only among those who are really anxious to be in Krishna consciousness. Just like Arjuna's qualification, you are very dear to me. So, when you are in the association, see, initially, if you don't have that interest in hearing, but when you are in the association of devotees, you get that enthusiasm, because when you are associating with like-minded people, definitely you'll get that interest. Right, see, if you are not a drunkard, see, you start associating with drunkards. Initially you don't drink. Okay, slowly, little by little you start having, and finally one day you become a drunkard. So like that, initially you may not have an interest, right, to hear, but in the association of devotees, of like-minded devotees, if you start hearing, you will definitely get an eagerness to hear. Okay. Okay, so let's go to shloka 2. Name viduh सुरगणाः प्रभवं न महर्षयः अहम् आदिर्हि देवानां महर्षीणां च सर्वशः. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my origin, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and the sages. Okay, so here Krishna is saying he is the origin of everyone. So even the powerful demigods and exalted sages come from him. Okay, therefore they cannot know his beginning. See, it's like this. Your father knows much better about you, but you don't know everything about your father, but your father knows everything about you. So it's like that. So that the demigods are born from Krishna. So that's why they don't know everything about Krishna, but Krishna knows everything about the demigods. Okay, so you understood the this thing. Okay, so here Krishna, he cannot be known by speculation or knowledge or intelligence or logic. Okay, but some people can understand till impersonal Brahman, but that is only partial realization. So full, what is the full understanding? Understanding Krishna as the supreme person. So only surrendered devotees, that too by his mercy, can truly understand Krishna. Okay, so knowledge of Krishna comes by grace. Don't think that you can understand Krishna by reading or by intelligence or by your own effort. Okay, yeah, your effort is needed, right? That is not the only thing. You need the mercy of Krishna, you need the grace of Krishna. See, you can understand Krishna to the extent gives you mercy. Like if he thinks that he wants you to understand only 10% of Krishna, You get only that much. You are able to understand only 10% of Krishna. Or if say he says 15, you will be able to understand only 15%. Okay, so it's totally based on the mercy of Krishna. It is not by your intellect or your logic or your speculation or your knowledge, intelligence, book reading that you'll be able to understand Krishna. It is also the mercy. It includes Krishna's grace also. Okay, so let's go to third shloka. यो माम् अजम् अनादिं च वेति लोकमहेश्वरम् असम्मूढः समत्येषु सर्वपापैः प्रमुच्यते. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme Lord of all the worlds, he, undeluded among men, is freed from all sins. Okay, so Krishna is not like that. No, is not like us. Okay, we are born, we grow, we change, but Krishna is never born like that. So he's always there. He has no beginning, and he's the boss of all the worlds, like spiritual world, material world, everything. So even the gods take their power from him. See, like even the gods get their power from Krishna. See, Krishna grants special powers to these demigods to perform the material duties. Okay, so sometimes that's why Krishna, he comes to this world. I mean, he just comes sometimes so that he can help people like us get out of this material world. Okay, because he wants to help us. That is why he comes out of his mercy. He comes and he comes to deliver us. So if we understand that Krishna is the supreme Lord and not just an ordinary person, then our heart becomes clean, and whatever wrong things or sinful things that we have done slowly get washed away. But can we understand Krishna by just being intelligent or smart? No. So we cannot understand Krishna by our knowledge, by our intelligence, by our whatever logic. Okay, even very clever people cannot understand him. Okay, if they try to use their brain, it is not possible. So how can we understand Krishna? By loving him, by chanting his names, by listening to his leelas, by reading Prabhupada books, and by following what he teaches. Can we understand Krishna? Only through bhakti. Indirectly, they're saying bhakti and devotional service, not through anything else. Okay. Okay. So let's go to the next shloka 4. बुद्धिर्ज्ञानम् असम्मोहः क्षमा सत्यं दमः शमः सुखं दुःखं भवो भावो भयं छाभयम् एव च. 5. अहिंसा समता तुष्टिस्तपोदानं यशो यशः भवन्ति भावभूतानां मत्त एव पृथग्विदा. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of the senses, control of the mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame and infamy, all these various qualities of living beings are created by me alone. So here, what are they saying? See, in this verse, Krishna explains that all qualities found in living beings, either they are good or bad qualities, they ultimately come from him. Okay, that's why he's given a list over there, right? So everything, be it good or bad qualities, it comes from Krishna. So for instance, first he's telling about intelligence. What does intelligence mean? Power to analyze things in their proper perspective. So whether you, I mean, like when do you, I mean, like you use your intelligence to judge what is good or what is bad, right? So you use an intelligence. And what is true knowledge? means understanding the difference between spirit and matter. That is true knowledge. So, freedom from doubt comes from careful understanding of spiritual truth. So, when you can be clear from doubts, when you have a clear understanding of spiritual truth and control of the senses and mind. See, control of the senses and mind means not using them for unnecessary enjoyment, but for you should use your senses and mind for spiritual growth. And fear arises from, okay, here you can see actually, okay, so fear arises from attachment to material life and ignorance of the soul's future. See, if fear arises attachment to material life because you think you're this body. So when you try to lose this body, you get scared that all my attachments, like my money, my business, my family members, right? You get scared that you will lose all these things. So that fear arises because of attachment to material life. And what is fearlessness? It comes from Krishna consciousness. So when you connect everything with Krishna, knowing that we are eternal servants of the Lord, we are fearless. Why? Because we know that we are no longer this body. Even if we die, it is the body that dies, but the soul never dies, right? So we stay on forever. So, what is the reason for us to fear? If we live eternally, there is no fear, right? So, that is fearlessness. And real non-violence means helping others progress spiritually. That is real non-violence. You help others to progress spiritually. Equanimity means accepting what helps spiritual life and rejecting what harms it. Okay, so you take what is good for your spiritual life and you reject what is harmful for your spiritual life. And satisfaction means being content with what comes by Lord's grace. Austerity and charity should be performed according to spiritual principles. Like whatever is mentioned in the Shastras, per that you have to do your austerities and charities, not whatever comes to your mind. Like that, you just create your own things and you do different kinds of austerity and charity. Not like that. Whatever is mentioned in the Shastras, per that you have to do the austerity and charity. Fame is real when one is known as a devotee of the Lord. That is real famous. When you get famous as the devotee of the Lord, that is real fame. Okay. So, through all these points, what do we understand is the main point is that everything originates from Krishna. So, good or bad, all energies flow from Him. But when one engages in devotional service, the good qualities naturally develop within that person. So, if you want only good qualities to develop, you engage in devotional service. Then naturally you will develop all the good qualities. Okay.
Um, Mataji,
Yes, Prabhuji.
Mataji, for instance, somebody has, some people have a phobia of different things, na, like heights, air, water, and they have fear of losing something. So, Mataji, what causes this?
That is what is fear of body, Prabhuji. That is a fear. See, anything fear means it something is going to happen to me, and they think that they are the body, right? Why do they fear water? Because when they fall in water, they fear that they will lose their life, right? So that is the main thing. It is about the body, the concept of body. So everything attached to the body they will lose. They will lose their family, they will lose their wealth. That fear they have. That is why that they have fear of long heights or water or whatever different things. The main thing is they understand that they are their body, and when they lose that body, everything attached to that body, be it their family members, wealth, property, everything will go away. So that is the main fear that they have. Okay, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. So 10.6 Mahashayah Sapta Purve Chattvaro Manavastatha Madbhava Manasa Jata Yesham Loka Ima Praja. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The seven great sages and before them the four other great sages and the Manus, progenitors of mankind, are born out of my mind, and all creatures in these planets descend from them. Okay, so here in this verse, Krishna explains the origin of the universal population. Like, how did the population come into existence? Like, where did it start and how did the whole population come into existence? Krishna is telling. So, first what? The four Kumaras came, then the seven great sages came, and then here you can see here. Okay. Right. So then, first the four Kumaras came, the seven great sages came, and then the 14 Manus. All the names of the 14 Manus are given, the seven sages are given, and the four Kumaras names are given. You can please go through. Right. So, how are they born? They are born from the mind of Krishna through Lord Brahma. So we all know, right? From Krishna, the three Vishnus come, and from Vishnu, Garbhodakasai Vishnu comes, and from Garbhodakasai Vishnu, Brahma comes, and from Brahma, the four Kumaras were created, and then from Brahma, the sages were created, and then the 14 Manus, and from the Manu is said to be the father of mankind. So from Manu came all the progenitors of mankind. So that is where all the progeny started. Okay, different species started emerging out. So the entire population of all the planets, it ultimately traces back to Krishna. So Brahma is known as the grandfather of all beings. He is called the Pitamaha, and Krishna is the father of Brahma. So he is called Prapitamaha, the father of the grandfather. So therefore Krishna is the original source of everyone. Okay. So if you trace back, like, see, you may have your father now. Father has a father. Father has a father. Then finally, the origin is Krishna. The first is Krishna. So he is the
Uh,
original source. Okay.
Mataji,
Yes, Prabhuji.
Mataji, what is this highlighted name which is in the Manu and which is coming under the Manus, the red highlighted name?
Oh, it is Vaivasvata. Means that Manu is the present Manu. Okay, the Manu that is happening now, the Manu's name is Vaivasvata Manu. Currently, we are staying in the father of mankind. Manu is Vaivasvata Manu.
Vaivasvat.
Yeah, Vaivasvata Manu. The
Yes.
current Manu's name is Vaivasvata Manu. That's why it's highlighted. Okay, let's go to 10.7. एतां विभूतिं योगं च मम यो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः सो अविकल्पेन योगेन युज्यते नात्र संशयः. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. He who knows in truth this glory and power of mine engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this, there is no doubt. So, in this verse, Krishna declares that anyone who truly understands his divine opulences and mystic powers becomes firmly engaged in pure devotional service without a doubt. Okay, so see, it is not enough to vaguely believe that God is great. So, we hear from many people, right? They say God is great, God is great, but we should know actually, factually, how great God is. So, one must understand how He is great. Okay, so Krishna is the source of all creation, the origin of Brahma, Shiva, the sages, and all living beings. Right? He is the origin of everybody. Everybody comes from Krishna. So all powers, all energies, all wonders come from Krishna. So when a person understands these truths through scriptures such as the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, then his faith becomes steady. So, and doubts disappear. And naturally, the heart turns towards surrender. Okay, so real knowledge of Krishna's greatness leads directly to unalloyed devotional service. Okay, so when you get that real knowledge of how great Krishna is, you definitely bend towards Krishna, right? You start doing unalloyed devotional service. See, like in this material world itself, when you know somebody is great who can help you, you bend before them. See, many people they bend before politicians for some help or whatever. I mean, to the movie stars, right? They bend. So, like that, when you know how truly great Krishna is, then you automatically surrender yourself to Krishna and you start performing unalloyed devotional service to Krishna. Okay, so this is the main thing, the gist. 10.8 to 10.11 is the Chaturshloka. It is like the whole Bhagavad Gita. If you want to know in 4 slokas, it is this 10.8 to 10.11. So this is very important and it covers like it's like the gist of the Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava sanmanditaha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who know this perfectly engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Motivation. Okay, so here Krishna he declares boldly what I am the source of everything. From me, all spiritual and material worlds arise. See, everything comes from him. See, it's not just some things come, not only the spiritual world, but everything, even Brahma, Shiva, the demigods, sages, planets, universes, energies, the souls, the laws of nature, time itself, everything comes from Krishna. So when a person understands through proper knowledge from scripture and guru, naturally his heart moves towards Krishna. When he understands how great Krishna is and everything comes from him, his heart gradually naturally it moves towards Krishna. So Krishna is the origin of all origins. There is no controller above him. So when we understand this truth deeply, devotional service becomes firm and joyful. Right? We become strong in devotional service when we understand how great Krishna is. So understanding leads to surrender. And surrender leads to devotion. And devotion, when you do devotion to Krishna, what happens? You go back to Krishna, Krishna Loka, Goloka Vrindavan, right? Okay, so this is the same thing. What is the result of knowing Krishna? You worship Krishna with all your hearts, engages in devotional service, surrenders. Okay. 9. Matchitta madgata prana bodhayantah parasparam gatayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are surrendered to me and they derive great satisfaction and bliss enlightening one another and conversing about me. So, like this is very important. This verse shows the heart, the life of a pure devotee. Right? How does the life of a pure devotee revolve around? How I mean, how is his heart? So Krishna says their minds are always thinking of him. Their lives are dedicated to him. Okay, they enlighten one another. They constantly speak about him. And when doing so, they feel deep satisfaction and spiritual joy. Okay, we should understand here. See, a pure devotee, he never feels bored discussing about Krishna. See, for people like us, We keep looking at the time, once half an hour is over, array, when this class will get over, we get bored about listening to Krishna, like, right? We don't have that focus. But a pure devotee is not like that. He does not feel bored discussing Krishna. See, just like he is so interested in Krishna, how it is compared, like just as worldly people feel excitement discussing their favorite topics about movies or sports or politics, shares, right? How worldly people feel like great happiness in discussing such topics, devotees feel increasing happiness speaking about Krishna's names, qualities, and pastimes. Okay, they don't get bored. They're like, the more they discuss, the more happiness they get by discussing about Krishna, right? So when devotees meet, they don't gossip like us. They don't say that I went to this party, I wore this sari, I wore this shirt, I wore this shoes, I wore this watch, I wore that necklace. They don't discuss such material things. They don't gossip. Okay, what do? When devotees meet, they glorify Krishna. They remind one another about the Lord's greatness, right? So in that mutual encouragement, devotion becomes stronger. So when you're as a group, when you're encouraged, when you start encouraging each of you, they encourage mutually, then devotion becomes stronger. Okay, so in the beginning, okay, here you see, yeah. So in the beginning, one tastes happiness in service. Later, you can see here, right? Later, that service matures into love of God. And in that stage, one cannot live without remembrance of Krishna. See, in the first, when one tastes happiness in service. So, in service means what? So, in the beginning, we taste happiness when we are serving. So, what does that serving mean? At first, you practice carefully. See, initially, when you come to Krishna consciousness, what do? You do sadhana bhakti, right? So, you follow rules, you chant, you hear, you serve, right? And when you do all this, you begin to taste, you get a little happiness, right? You start feeling peaceful. So that is the happiness, and that little happiness that you get comes from serving Krishna. But as service continues sincerely, see, you practice your sadhana sincerely, right? You continue the same practice sincerely, the practice develops into attachment. Okay, so Krishna is no longer just understood philosophically, he becomes personally dear to you. Right now, like through chanting, you hear about Krishna through sound, or even when you read Prabhupada's books, like it is like very theoretical, you feel, right? So you just understand everything philosophically. But as your attachment increases, when your service, you continue to do the service, so Krishna is just no longer understood philosophically. He becomes personally dear. Like how you reciprocate with your family members, so Krishna also, you feel like he's person to you. He's like someone very dear and close to you. So he becomes personally dear. So then that attachment matures into love of God. It is not just some sentiment or imagination. It is real love. Okay, so in that stage, the mind naturally runs towards Krishna. Speaking about him feels like you get nourishment, and separation from him feels like what do you say? It's you feel like it's so heavy. I mean, like I can't live without Krishna, and remembrance becomes as essential as breathing. Right? If you don't breathe, you die. Right? So if they are not able to remember Krishna even for a second, it's like as if they have stopped their breath. It's just like as a fish cannot live without water, a devotee who is in pure love, he cannot live without remembering Krishna. Okay, that is the final stage. So initial stages, like we start with rules and regulations, reading and all that. That is like quite philosophical, right? You are trying to understand theoretically. But as you continue your service, that attachment increases, and you think that you feel Krishna is a person, like how you get attached to your children or wife or husband or parents, right? You have those emotions, right? You see Krishna as a person, you get attached to him. So like that, that develops into pure love for Krishna, where you can't even stay without 1 second remembering about Krishna. Okay. So devotees, they think of Krishna, they speak of Krishna, they help others understand Krishna, and in that association, they experience true spiritual bliss. So devotion becomes their life, it is their breath. Okay, they can't stay without that. Okay, so let's go to 10.10. तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं ददामि बुद्धियोगं तं येन माम् उपयान्ति ते. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. So here Krishna says that to those who are always devoted to me with love, I give the intelligence by which they can come to me. Okay, so here you can see. Okay, so this is buddhi yoga. So the intelligence that Krishna gives. Buddhi means the intelligence. Yoga means you are connecting to the supreme. So buddhi yoga means it's a special guidance Krishna gives from within the heart to a sincere devotee. So buddhi means intelligence, yoga means connecting to the supreme. So it is the intelligence that Krishna gives a devotee so that he can progress in Krishna consciousness. Okay, so when someone serves Krishna constantly and with love, Krishna, he is not far away. He is very close to us. He becomes the inner guide. Okay, so he gives us that understanding. He clears the confusion and doubts. He directs the devotee step by step towards him. Okay, so when it's like this, see, when a devotee sincerely engages in bhakti, even if not highly learned, he has no knowledge, he has nothing, he is not intelligent or whatever, Krishna personally helps him progress. See, if you see many of our acharyas, many, I mean, like many of them are not very intelligent. If you see Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's Guru Maharaj, he's totally uneducated. But if you see him on the platform of bhakti, he's somewhere. And if you see Prabhupada's Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he's a scholar, highly intelligent. I think when he was 5 years, he knew the whole of the Bhagavad Gita. He knew by heart the shlokas of all Bhagavad Gita, and he knew the Bhagavad Gita. He was so talented. Imagine 5 years kid knows all the 700 shlokas by heart, and he knows the gist of the Bhagavad Gita. He was so talented, and such a talented, intelligent, scholar person. Who was his guru? His guru. He didn't even know the ABCDs, how to write, nothing. But he was highest in bhakti. He took Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur took him as his guru. Okay, so bhakti has nothing to do with intelligence. Okay, our material education or knowledge has nothing to do with it. Okay. Okay, so and in the purport, Srila Prabhupada, he explains different paths also. Like if here we see, right, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, and Buddhi Yoga. And out of all these, Krishna says Buddhi Yoga is the best. Okay, see, for example, Jnana Yoga means what? When one knows the goal is Krishna, but takes pleasure in mental speculation to understand Krishna. So then he's acting in Jnana Yoga. Means these Jnanis, they focus mainly on knowledge. So the more knowledge they want, so they understand through the knowledge that they are the soul. So they go, I mean, like they speculate, and that's why they want to merge. They speculate, they create their own philosophy, and they want to merge into the impersonal Brahman. So it's like this. See, a Gnana Yogi means we'll just take an example. Like, for example, there is a person like who spends her time, I mean, like, who spends his time studying the scriptures deeply. They analyze that what is the soul, what is matter, what is temporary and what is eternal. So, and they practice detachment. Okay, so she practices detachment. So what does detachment mean? It means knowing that the body will change, wealth will not stay forever, praise and criticism come and go, everything material is temporary. So what happens? They gently withdraw their dependence on these strings, and they give more importance on I am not this body, I am the spirit, and they meditate on Brahman. Okay, so their main tool in Gnana Yoga is they focus on knowledge and speculation, right? So this is Gnana Yoga. Okay, so that is one process. Next, Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is when one knows the goal is Krishna but is addicted to the fruits. Means these people, they know that Krishna, I mean, like we have to, the goal is Krishna, but still they are, what do you say? They are still into sense gratification. They're not able to give up their results. Right? See, I'll give you an example for that. Okay, so these people, in Karma Yoga, they work while gradually purifying their desires. See, for example, you think there's a person, okay, Ravi is a school teacher, so he works sincerely. He teaches well, he earns his salary, he understands that the goal of life is spiritual progress, is to please Krishna, he knows. So every month, what he does, he offers part of his earnings in the service of Krishna. And before eating, also, he offers his food. And before starting his work, he prays that whatever work I do, hope it pleases you, Krishna. So he is still doing material work. He is still working in the world. He is still receiving the results. But he tries not to be selfish. See, selfish means whatever income he is getting, he would have used it for his sense gratification. But since he knows that the goal is Krishna, he whatever income he gets, part of it he gives it to for the service of Krishna. Every month from his salary, he gives it to Krishna. Okay, so that is Karma Yoga. So working with spiritual understanding. So when you give part of your work, I mean, like whatever you're earning to Krishna, that is like you're working with spiritual understanding. You're not using everything your salary for your sense gratification. You're using part of it for Krishna conscious activities. So gradually by doing that, what happens? You're reducing attachment to results. Okay, so that is Karma Yoga. And final is Buddhi Yoga. Krishna says that is the best of all. Okay, so but when one serves Krishna directly with love and full surrender, that is Bhakti Yoga. It is also called Buddhi Yoga. So one works purely for the pleasure of Krishna. So this is the highest perfection. And one beautiful point in this verse, Prabhupada says is, we cannot reach Krishna by our intelligence alone. See, when we serve Krishna with love and devotion, Krishna gives the intelligence needed to reach him. Right? It is not by our this thing that our intelligence alone. Okay, when we start doing devotional service with love, Krishna gives us the intelligence by which we can reach him. Okay, so we have to understand this. So Bhakti Yoga is purely mercy. A mercy of the Vaishnavas, mercy of Guru, mercy of Krishna, mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Radharani. It's based, I mean, like not just our effort. It is both. Like we have to put in our effort, at the same time the mercy of theirs. Okay? Right? So 10.11. Tesham evanukampartham aham agnanajam tamaha nashayami atma bhavasto gnana deepena bhasvata. Out of compassion for them, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness of ignorance. Okay, so out of compassion for them. So Krishna is showing compassion for us. And then out of compassion, what is he doing? I dwelling in their hearts. So Krishna is present as Paramatma in everybody's heart, right? He's present. I, dwelling in their heart, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge, right? What is that shining lamp of knowledge? And with that shining lamp of knowledge, he destroys what? The darkness born of ignorance. What is the ignorance that he destroys? The identification. We are all identifying our body, ourselves with the body. So identifying with the body, that is one thing. And material attachments, okay, and philosophical confusion, and lack of realization of supreme truth. So many of us don't recognize Krishna as a person, supreme person. Like we think he is the impersonal Brahman, right? So and we have that philosophical confusion. So he destroys that ignorance. So by chanting the holy name and engaging in devotional service, the dust of material contamination is removed from the heart. And when the heart becomes clean, knowledge arises naturally. Okay, so that is what Krishna is telling, the shining lamp of knowledge. Okay, so by chanting, how does that Krishna give that destroy the with the shining lamp of knowledge? Is when we start chanting and doing devotion, start doing devotional service, all the impurities or the material contaminations that we have in our heart are removed. We get purified. So when the heart becomes clean, that knowledge arises automatically, naturally, right? Because when we become pure, everything becomes clear, right? So that knowledge arises naturally. So anxiety about material things disappears. Okay, so and Krishna personally takes charge. Okay, that's why Krishna is saying, I destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge. So he gives the knowledge and destroys the darkness born of ignorance. So here also we can see, right, how Parikshit Maharaj, he was in he came out of ignorance by hearing from Shukadev Goswami the Srimad Bhagavatam, and here Kapila Muni is guiding his mother Devahuti from ignorance of material life, how to come out of the material life, how to get Vairagya. And here we can see that Uddhava is taking lessons from Krishna, right? So same thing, the special mercy of the Lord. Lord destroys all the impediments and dispels any ignorance in the heart with the shine of knowledge. Okay, so 12:13. Arjuna Uvacha Param Brahma Paramam Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum Ahuswam Risheha Sarve Devarshir Naradasthatha Asito Devalo Vyasaha Swayam Chaiva Bravishime. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Arjuna said, you are the supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth, and the eternal divine person. You are the primal God, transcendental and original, and you are the unborn and all pervading beauty. All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa proclaim this of you. And now you yourself are declaring it to me. Okay, so now here Arjuna is accepting Krishna as the supreme person and not as some energy, and he's trying to prove that in the shloka by calling him all these different names. So he's saying what? See, Param Brahma. So he's saying that you are the supreme absolute truth. Param Dhama, ultimate abode. Dhama means abode, shelter. So you are the ultimate shelter. Pavitram means you are the purest of the pure. Param Bhavan, the absolute truth. Purusham means he's saying you're the person. He's clearly saying, see, Krishna, you're not some energy or light. You are Purusham, you're a person, you're a supreme enjoyer. So Shashvatam means you're eternal. Divyam means transcendental. Adi Devam, you're the original Lord. Ajam means unborn. Vibhum means the greatest. Okay, he is Vibhu, we are Anu. The souls are Anu, we are small. Krishna is Vibhu, he is great. And what this is accepted by whom? Accepted by all acharyas. So here, see, if you see in the shloka translation, See, we all may think that, oh, since Arjuna, because he's the friend of Krishna, that's why he's praising Krishna by saying all these things. But Arjuna is saying that, please don't think because I'm the friend of Krishna, that is why I'm praising Krishna with all this. I have personal, I mean, like what? I'm giving you proof from the Vedas. Like he's saying that, see, it is accepted by all acharyas. Who are the acharyas? Narada, Asita, Devala, Vyasa. They have all accepted Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. It's not just me. Okay, don't, and you all may be thinking that because I am friend of Krishna, that is why I am praising Krishna. It is not just me. It is accepted by all acharyas, Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa. They've accepted Krishna as a person. And even Krishna himself is declaring that now. Okay, so you yourself are declaring it to me. I totally accept as truth. So neither demigods or the demons can understand your personality. Why? Because the demigods and the devatas and demons, they come from Krishna. So Krishna is like infinite. We are finite. So what can we understand about Krishna? Right, we cannot understand anything. See, it's like that. Like, see, we father can understand everything about the child, but the child can't understand everything about the father. So like that, the demigods, they don't know, they can't understand everything about Krishna, but Krishna knows everything about the demigods. Okay, so 10.14 Sarvam etam ritam manye Yanmam vadasi Keshava nahi te Bhagavan vyaktin vidur deva nadanavaha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the gods nor demons, O Lord, know thy personality. So same thing in continuation they're saying. See, now we see that Arjuna has completely accepted Krishna. I see Arjuna says, everything you have told me, Krishna, I accept as truth. Okay, Arjuna is not partially accepting. He's saying completely, totally I'm accepting now. Okay, he does not reinterpret or something. He fully trusts Krishna's words. Okay, so we should through Arjuna we should understand the proper mood, like how Krishna, I mean Arjuna is accepting Krishna totally, like that. In that same mood we should also accept Krishna as the what the supreme personality of Godhead. Like how Arjuna, without any hesitation, is accepting Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. In the same mood, we should also understand Krishna. Okay, and Krishna, he cannot be understood by speculation. See, now here in the shloka, we see that Arjuna says that even the demigods cannot fully understand Krishna. What to speak of demons or ordinary scholars? Why Arjuna is saying that? Because in the earlier shloka also we saw, right? Krishna is unlimited. He is Vibhu. And we all are, and demigods or the great sages or demons, and we all are like Anu. We are very small. We are limited. And limited beings, what can they understand about the unlimited Krishna? Right? So we cannot understand. So how can Krishna be understood? He can be understood only by devotion and by the mercy and grace of Krishna. Okay, so knowledge comes by mercy. So Arjuna understood Krishna not because of his talent, intelligence, or academic study, but because of devotion, friendship, sincerity, Krishna's grace. Okay, so that is why Krishna was revealed to him, right? And one more important thing is in the purport Prabhupada says is of importance of parampara. Okay, the disciplic succession. See, when the that's why, right? See, when the original chain of teachers was lost, Krishna re-established it through Arjuna. So to truly understand the Gita, one must follow Arjuna's example. Just accept Krishna as supreme, receive knowledge through the disciplic succession coming from our Guru Parampara, without misunderstanding. I mean, like without any additions or subtractions. Just take whatever knowledge is coming through the parampara as it is. Okay, as it is coming in succession without any changes. That itself is the goal of life. Okay, so take the knowledge as it is, which is coming from parampara. Okay, so 10.15. Indeed, you alone know yourself by your own potencies, O origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, O Supreme Person, Lord of the universe. So here Arjuna is saying, Krishna, you alone know yourself by your own potencies. Okay, so Krishna is known only by himself because Krishna is unlimited, therefore only he fully knows himself, right? So finite beings like the demigods or we or demons, we cannot measure the infinite. So Krishna reveals himself by his own internal potency, not by human speculation. Okay, and what is the qualification to understand Krishna? Devotion. So the in the purport it clearly explains that those who have a devotional relationship with Krishna only can understand him, not atheists or demonic persons or speculators. Okay, Bhagavad Gita must be understood as Arjuna understood it, through devotion and proper disciplic succession. Okay, and in purport also I mean, like we all know, there are three realizations of absolute truth. Okay, that is Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, right? And Brahman means what? Impersonal, spiritual, right? Paramatma means the localized super soul in the heart, and Bhagavan means the supreme personality of Godhead. So the highest realization is Bhagavan, the supreme person. And Arjuna recognizes Krishna in this highest aspect as Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. So Arjuna's understanding is now complete. Okay, so his vision is no longer foggy and he does not see Krishna as his friend alone now. He sees Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. Okay, so 10.16. वक्तुम् अर्हसि अशेषेण दिव्या हि आत्मविभूतयः याभिर्विभूतिभिर्लोकान् इमां त्वं व्याप्य तिष्ठसि. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So now Arjuna is asking Krishna, please tell me in detail of your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. So now Arjuna is asking, please now Krishna, tell me about your opulences through which you are present in these worlds. Okay. So 10.17. Gatam vidyam aham yogins tvam sada parichintayan keshu keshu cha bhaveshu chintyosi bhagavan maya. O Krishna, O Supreme Mystic, how shall I constantly think of you? How shall I know you? In what various forms you are to be remembered? O Supreme Personality of Godhead. 1 second. Okay. O Supreme Mystic, how shall I constantly think of you? How shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered? O Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Arjuna is asking Krishna, how shall I continuously remember you? How shall I know you? In what forms can I see you? And how can I remember you? Through your opulences. He's asking Krishna. Next, 18. विस्तरेणात्मनो योगं विभूतिं च जनार्दन भूयः कथय तृप्तिर्हि शृण्वतो नास्ति मे मृतम्. O Janardana, again, please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I am never satiated in hearing about you. For the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words. So here, what are the Arjuna is telling? Oh Janardana, please describe more about your opulences. I'm never saturated. Like the devotees, they are never satisfied hearing about Krishna. They want to hear more. They're never bored. See, like we get bored. Like if there is a movie for 3 hours, we don't even notice. For materialistic people, array, it's over. 3 hours of movie is over so soon, we feel. But for devotees, that same thing, discussing about Krishna is a movie for the, like how the materialistic people are interested in that movie. The same thing is with the devotees. They are so much interested. See, they want to know more and more about Krishna. They're never satisfied, right? Because that is like, it's like nectar for them. The more they hear, the more pleasure they get. They get derived satisfaction, right? So Arjuna is asking, like 17 in the, this is 17. How should I meditate on you? In what various forms are you to be contemplated, O blessed Lord? And this is 18. Okay, 17 to 18. So we can see the same thing. Advantages of hearing Krishna's opulences. What happens when you hear more about the Krishna's opulences? When hearing increases, you remember more. Your smarana increases. You always think of Krishna, right? So when you remember, thus by remembering Krishna, we can relish great nectar. And the devotees, they are never satisfied by hearing about Krishna. Okay. And this is the same thing again. Why Arjuna wanted to hear more about all pervading opulences of Krishna? Because he wanted to. One is for the Arjuna is already satisfied with the understanding of Krishna and has no doubt. See, actually, why Arjuna wanted to hear about the opulences? We know that Krishna accepts Krishna as the Arjuna accepts Krishna as a supreme personality of Godhead. But for people like us to establish that standard that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. That is why Arjuna is asking to show your opulences, because many people, they think Krishna is an ordinary person, like he's a politician or he's a cowherd boy or he's just a king, like that they think, right? So for them, Arjuna knows Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, but why he is asking to show the opulence? For people like us who don't understand Krishna's as the supreme personality of Godhead. For one is for the sake of common people, for the sake of materialistic, and for personal absorption. Third, personal absorption is they are never satisfied hearing about Krishna. They want to hear more and more about Krishna. So he wanted to absorb listening more about Krishna. So Arjuna wants to know, how shall I constantly think of you, so that he can think more about Krishna and to taste the nectar. He wants to hear more and more and taste the nectar of his words. The devotees, they are never satisfied hearing about Krishna. They want to know more, listen more and more. It is like nectar to their ears. So they want to hear more. That is one reason why Krishna Arjuna was asking that he wanted to hear about the opulences. Okay, now from this shloka onwards, we'll see what are the opulences that Krishna starts discussing. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Hantate Katayishyami Divya hi Atma Vibhutayaha Pradhanyatah Kuru Shrestha Nasti Anto Vistarasya Me. The Blessed Lord said, yes, I will. Hare Krishna, this is covered 10.19. Yeah. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent, O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless. So here Krishna is telling Arjuna, definitely Arjuna, I will tell you all my, I'll share all my opulences with you, but I will tell you only the prominent, the main ones, main few ones. Because why? Because my opulence is limitless, right? So many opulences I have, but I can't tell you about everything because they are limitless. There's so many, but I will tell you few which are very important. Some I will tell you which are very prominent. Okay. 10.20 Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarvabhutashaya Stitaha Aham Adishya Madhyam Cha Bhutanam Anta Eva Cha. Okay, so translation. Here he's saying, I am the super soul, O Arjuna, seated in the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, I am the middle, and the end of all beings. So Krishna is saying that he is he's Paramatma, right? He is seated in the heart of all living entities, and he is the beginning, he is the middle, and he is the end of all beings. Because he is the beginning, because he is the one who creates the universe, the living entities, everything, and he's the middle because he maintains. And when the pralaya comes, again all beings enter into him. So manifest and maintenance and unmanifest, right? So all these things, three things happen because of Krishna. So that he's saying, that is one of his opulence he's trying to say. Okay, next 10.21. Adityanam aham Vishnur Jyotisham Ravir Amshuman Marichir Marutam Asmi Nakshatranam Aham Shashi. So he's telling of the Adityas, I am Vishnu. See, we know there are 12 Adityas, right? Out of that 12 Adityas, I am Vishnu, Krishna is saying. And of lights, I am the radiant sun. Of the Maruts, I am Marichi. And among the stars, I am the moon. Generally, we all think that moon is a planet, right? Actually, moon is also a star. So here, Krishna is saying, among the stars, I am the moon. Okay, so like that, we won't be reading everything because the opulences we can just read. See, of the Vedas, I am Samaveda. Of the demigods, I am Indra, the king of heaven. Of the senses, I am the mind. And then living beings, I am the living force. So all this of Rudras, I am Lord Shiva. Of the Yakshas and Rakshasas, I'm the Lord of Wealth, Kuvera, of the Vasu. So you can just read the opulences because reading each of these would take a lot of time. So you can just read, please read. The list is also there when the PPT is given. See, like this, the list will be given. See, of Adityas, I am Vishnu, of the light, I am the sun, of the Maruts, I am Marichi, of the stars, I am moon. So all this list is given. So you can please go through. See, of the immovable things, I am Himalayas, of the trees, I am the holy fig, of the sages, of the demigods, I am Narada. So all this is given. Okay, so we'll just try to read this. Why does Krishna compare himself to the Samaveda? So this, if you read this only, if you understand this, then you'll be able to understand this. Because after of all the Vedas, Krishna compares himself to Samaveda. Why? Because the mantras of the Samaveda are chanted musically, so they are especially pleasing to the gods more than the mantras of the other Vedas, which is why Krishna compares himself to Samaveda. Sama denotes that which brings equipoise or tranquility to the mind. The Samaveda is very rich with beautiful songs played by various demigods. One of these songs is the Brihatsthama, which has an exquisite melody and is sung at midnight. So that's the speciality of Samaveda. It is being sung, and when it is being sung, it is like very what peaceful to the mind. So that's why it's compared to Krishna. Okay, that music is when played, it gives that peaceful and gives peace to the mind. Okay, that's why it's compared to Krishna. And the leader of the Yakshas and Rakshasas is Kuvera, the master treasurer of the demigods. And he is a representation of Supreme Lord. Okay. Kuvera is we all know that Kuvera is the treasurer of the demigods, right? And he is the leader of the Rakshasas and the Yakshas. And Meru is a mountain famed for its rich natural resources. Indra is the chief demigod of the heavenly planets and is known as the king of heavens. The planet on which he reigns is called Indraloka. Brihaspati is Indra's priest. And since Indra is the chief of all kings, Brihaspati is the chief of all priests. And Himalayas are the greatest mountains in the world. Mount Meru is sometimes movable. See, in the olden times, mountains were able to move. Okay, they were not like stable, like at one place. They would like fly and they could move. Okay, so like that, Mount Meru is, that's why they're saying that this mountain Meru is sometimes movable, but the Himalayas are never movable. Okay, the Himalayas were never moved like Mount Meru. Okay, so as such, the Himalayas are greater than Meru. The banyan tree, Ashwatha, is one of the highest and most beautiful trees, and the people in India often worship it as one of their daily morning rituals. See, we see many people worshipping the banyan tree, right? They try some ropes or whatever, they do different kinds of pujas, right? To these banyan trees. Amongst the demigods, Narada is the greatest devotee in the universe. Thus, he is the representation of Krishna as a devotee. The Gandharva planet is filled with entities who sing. You know, we all know Gandharvas means they sing very nicely, right? Beautifully, they sing. Entities who sing beautifully, and among them, the best singer is Chitraratha, amongst the perfect living entities. Kapila, the son of Devahuti, is a representative of Krishna. He is considered an incarnation of Krishna, and his philosophy is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The thunderbolt, a mighty weapon, represents Krishna's power. In Krishna Loka, cows can be milked at any time. Give as much milk as one desires. These are Surabhi cows. Okay, in Goloka Vrindavan, there's special cows called Surabhi where they give any amount of milk at any time. They are called Surabhi cows. So Lord is engaged in herding the Surabhi cows. Kandarpa is the sex desire for begetting good sons or children. Sex for sense gratification does not represent Krishna. But when you have sex for getting Krishna conscious children, that is Krishna. Okay, not for sense gratification, but for getting Krishna conscious children, that is Krishna. So Diti and Aditi are two sisters. The sons of Aditi are called Adityas, and the sons of Diti are called Daityas. All the Adityas are devotees of the Lord, and all the Daityas are atheistic. And Prahlada was born in the family of Daityas, as he was a great devotee of Krishna from his childhood, is considered a representative of Krishna. Okay, so as soon as a man is born, he dies at every moment. But the last stroke is called death itself. That death is Krishna. And we know that the human being undergoes six changes. What are they? Birth, growth, remaining for some time, reproducing, dwindling, and finally vanishing. Right? That is Krishna. Birth and deliverance from the womb is Krishna. And the Gayatri mantra mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam is regulated poetry chanted by the qualified Brahmanas. See, not everybody gets to chant the Gayatri mantra. Generally, in ISKCON, the second initiated devotees they get the Gayatri mantra. That is like their Brahman. Second initiation means you are Brahman initiated, right? The first initiation that you get is called Harinam initiation, where you are initiated into the Hare Krishna mantra by the Guru. And then second is the Gayatri mantra, where you become a Brahmana. Okay, then you get the Gayatri mantra. And the Gayatri mantra has to be chanted 3 times in a day. Like you have to take, you are supposed to take bath 3 times, morning, afternoon, and at sunset 3 times. And then you have to recite your Gayatri mantra. Okay, so not everybody gets a chance to recite the Gayatri mantra, right? So the Gayatri mantra mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam is regulated poetry chanted by the qualified Brahmanas is the most prominent as it is equally meant for God realization. It represents the Supreme Lord. This mantra is meant for spiritually advanced people who on chanting it can enter into the transcendental position of the Lord. This mantra is the sound incarnation of Brahman. It's initiated passed down from him in disciplic succession. So very important in Vedic civilization. So like this, everything, all many are given here. I think you want me to read, or would you be interested in reading the PPT later? Yeah?
Mataji,
Yeah? Yes, Prabhuji?
Mataji, I have a question.
Yeah, please,
Uh,
Prabhuji.
Mataji, so like Gayatri mantras are given to specific Brahmins in ISKCON, right?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
So Mataji, like if we like while sitting at home, if we discover a Gayatri mantra uh, of Lord Krishna and Goddess Radharani, for instance, and if we note it down and if we learn it, so is it considered, so is it right, or should we stop that practice?
Actually, to be frank, Prabhuji, what we've heard is like you don't need the Gayatri mantra. The Hare Krishna mantra itself is enough for us to go back to Godhead. So we don't have to worry about the Gayatri mantra. So generally, the Gayatri mantra is given for second initiated devotees who are like who want to do deity dressing, or who want to cook for the Lord on fire. So they generally take this second initiation. Otherwise, per Guru Maharaj, Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, he says that the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra is more than enough for us to deliver and go back to Godhead. So you don't have to be worried specifically that you have to do the Gayatri mantra. It's not required. Generally, the Gayatri mantra is given for devotees, like if you want to, that's what you want to cook for the deities on fire, or you want to touch the deities, right? So those people, they get take second initiation, they get the Gayatri mantra. But if you want deliverance from this material world, only if you just chant the Hare Krishna mantra, that is enough for you to go back to Godhead. So you please don't have to worry about that Gayatri mantra, Prabhuji.
So Mataji, can we chant Hare Krishna mantra also while cooking?
Definitely, Prabhuji. We have to do that. That's what we are saying. See, anyways, like if you remember Krishna, see, when cooking, like either by listening a speech or listening a bhajan or chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, anything is okay as long as we remember Krishna doing our material duties. Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay. Yes,
So,
Mataji.
yeah, you can please read all these. Like if I keep reading, also it will not enter your head. So I will, when I give the PPT, you can just see the opulences of Krishna, right? See, all these are given here, right? All the opulences are given. Okay, so these are the opulences. So now let's see Shloka 10.39. So here Krishna says, furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existences. And in case devotees, if I forget to give the PPTs, please remind me, because I'm not remembering to post the PPTs. You are, please let me know what all PPTs you want me to post. I will post it in the group. Okay. So 10.39. Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existences. There is no being moving or unmoving that can exist without me. So here Krishna is saying he's the generating seed. See, everything begins from a seed generally, right? See, a tree comes from a tiny seed. A big tree comes from a tiny seed. So, like that, the whole universe rests inside Krishna. Right? So, Krishna is saying that he is the Bija, he is the original cause behind all the living beings, all forms of life, all moving entities, all non moving entities. So, nothing is independent of him. So, nothing exists. Krishna is saying, right? Nothing exists without him. So Krishna he further says that there is no being moving or non-moving that can exist without him. So this means that no human, no demigod, no animal, no planet, no atom, everything depends on his energy. Okay, so everything depends. He's the cause of all causes. Okay, so everything has a cause, and that ultimate cause is Krishna. So without his energy, nothing can function or grow or move or remain still. Okay, so he is the source behind the whole of the manifestation. Okay, so that is 10.39. So 10.40, O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I've spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. So Krishna is saying that what see, there is no actually limit to my opulences. I just given you a few a meager percentage of my infinite opulences. There is so much. So this is just like an example or a glimpse that I have given to you. Krishna is telling. Okay, 10.41. Yad yad vibhutimat sattvam Srimad Ujitam eva va tad tad evavagachatvam mama tejomsha sambhavam. Know that all beautiful, glorious, and mighty creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. So Krishna is telling, see, if you see anything that is beautiful or glorious or mighty, anybody who's strong or anything they have special in this world, it is but a spark of mine. See, if we see anybody intelligent in this material world, like we see small children, like they become professors, they become so talented, right? At the age of say about 5 or 6 or something, they are able to teach high level, like PG level courses or something. So that is like they have so much talent. So that talent is nothing but a spark of Krishna. And some people, they're very good in sports, so that is the spark from Krishna. So when you see anything that is beautiful or glorious or mighty, or they're strong or they're intelligent or they are beautiful, so anything that you see, Krishna is saying that is but a spark of mine. So imagine if it's just a small spark. If Krishna if you see a beautiful thing in this world, how beautiful will Krishna be? If he just says that anything we see beautiful, like for example, we see a rose, it is beautiful. So imagine, see, the rose itself is so beautiful. How beautiful is Krishna then, right? So we can understand, right? So whatever we see in this material world that is abnormal, beautiful, glorious, that is Krishna is saying is just a spark of my splendor. Okay. So that is one way we can remember Krishna's opulences. Anything that you see glorious, beautiful, or mighty, strong, or whatever, who is too much wealthy, so it's because of Krishna. It's just a spark of Krishna. So 10.42. Athava bahunaitena kim gnatena tavarjuna vishtabhyaham idam krishnam ekamshena stito jagat. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragrant of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. So that's Krishna finally concludes by just saying one thing to Arjuna. See, Arjuna, you don't need to know anything of all this. Why do you want to know all about my opulences? Because in this whole world, I'm there. I'm there as super soul in everything. What is the need for you to know me here and there in some particular thing? So in the whole universe, where is Krishna not there? Can anybody tell where Krishna is not there? He's there everywhere, right? In fact, seeing in everything, he's there. He's there. He's there in the walls. He's there in the bed. He's there in the chair, table. He's there in the living entities. He's there in the tree. He's there in the dog. Wherever we see, he's there. He's there in the animal. Wherever, where is he not there? Right? That's what Krishna is saying. See, what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? See, with a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. So he's present as Paramatma in everybody. I pervade and support the entire universe. I'm there everywhere. Okay, so why do you just want to know about my opulences? In fact, I'm there everywhere. That's what Krishna is finally ending this chapter with that. See, the Supreme Lord is represented throughout the entire material universe by his entering into all things as the super soul. So the Lord here tells Arjuna there is no point in understanding how things exist in their separate opulence and grandeur. He should know that all things are existing due to Krishna's entering them as super soul. From Brahma, the most gigantic entity, on to the smallest ant, all are existing because the Lord has entered each and all is sustaining them. Okay, so this is why we have to understand what is the use of understanding everything separately. Krishna is saying, throughout the world, I am present in everything as the super soul. Okay, so with this, we conclude the opulences of the Absolute. And if any the devotees have any doubts, you can please feel free to ask your doubts.